So here I am yet again. But anyway, so for the longest time, I completely wasn't using this little thing. I was actually using the webcam microphone. But now, hopefully, this bloody thing will actually work instead of just do nothing. Hopefully. And if my voice sounds a bit meh, if it's audible. Now, why does it keep doing that? Oh yeah. It's kind of like doing the whole, really? Don't do that. Don't do that. It was cute at first, but now it's kind of obnoxious. Stop banging stuff. Hello, Kayla. Scooch that over there. Click there. But yeah, other than that, I'm just like, I'm in a kind of a not having it mode right now. But oh well. Anyway. So if it's completely open floor with anything card related, tarot related, astrology related, and the whatnot, or anything magical, woozy wooey at all. But if super chats are possible, that'd be nice because I come to find out that I guess that would be how would you call that? Like older niece or something like that. It's not an aunt, but something like that. Like my grandmother's sister's daughter. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, some backstory with her. She has ALS, so she's wheelchair bound, and she can't really do that much. And for some reason, the moving company, because she moved from California all the way to Tennessee. For some reason, the moving company hasn't gotten her stuff in a month. So yeah, I'm not really thrilled with that. And having ALS, she can barely do anything. Because I'm kind of fearing that they just took her stuff down to Mexico and sold it or something like that, or just not giving it to her. And they even said, well, for us to even get it to you, that'll be like another few $1,000s or whatever. So yeah, she kind of got scammed, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all because it makes me just want to go, really? You have the audacity and you have the vile capability of scamming somebody who's literally disabled with ALS, and you're taking advantage of them with it? No. I'm trying so hard not to vomit because of that. And it's just, it really makes me really start to stop him. Yep. It really makes me stop to think either one, the judge overseeing this, or worse, if I was, associated with any of these people that was actually causing this and doing this. I turned him in. I turned him in. I give no crap. And even worse, even as a judge, I mean, I would just be point blank and just drop the hammer just all for him and be like, okay, so this company, your employees, hello, Lissy. So all employees associated with this company, well, hey, you don't have to say bye because now it's high. But these people took advantage. Hello, Adam. I mean, I just couldn't help but just be thinking it like, so you're taking advantage of somebody who is permanently disabled with a nervous system condition, ALS. She can't stand, she cannot really take care of herself. And you pretty much have charged her to move furniture and belongings from a state to another state quite a long way. And now you're telling her that it hasn't been delivered yet, but if she gives a few thousand more dollars, they'll get there faster? No. That's not a good business practice. That's probably one of the oldest scamming things you can do. And worse, she actually went with it. So it just makes me really just want to go. So each and every person that's associated with this company, including the CEO, to the lowest grunt level, all of you are, yeah, every single person associated with that company is guilty of it. And just fraud. And I mean, I would not be nice. I would not be nice. Because harshly. So every asset that all these people own, every single person, all their assets, garnished to pay back for all the money she lost, plus damages. Because she's living, she only has a blow up mattress that barely even blows up, a chair, like a wooden chair, or wheelchair, and can barely. It doesn't even have a working TV or anything else except her phone. That's it. That's it. And she's been doing that for a whole month. Living like that. Ooh, yeah, I know. I'm livid. Because, it's one thing. It's really one thing to actually do an honest work and do an honest job and actually try your best to run a business and keep your communication up and running, saying that there's a delay and keep in contact. Because when you're having a moving company, you're kind of, when you're agreeing to do the service with a moving company, the company has to keep you informed where your stuff is and they have to maintain that contact. Because believe it or not, when you pay for the service, that is a legal binding contract. You're giving compensation to a company to provide a service. And until that service is provided, the contract is still open. Like, well, it hasn't been fulfilled. They have the money though; it's not fulfilled yet. So really, it's fraud and breaking of a contract. The agreement was to take all these things here. Oh well, I wouldn't say she's elderly, but she's handicapped, like handicapped. And well, when I was much younger, she actually babysat for me for a bit. And I mean, mhm. But she's always just upbeat and always just happy. Really happy and optimistic and very looking on the bright side of everything. Even when she was succumbing to ALS more and more and more, I mean, she still is just still cheery the most she can. And it's just, and I mean, she's even been all like, okay, I want to call the Better Business Bureau and all this other stuff. And I mean, I even told her like, you can definitely just say the word, and I'll be more than happy to help. But she's just said, no, I'll take care of myself. I'm like, okay, but if you get a hold of the people, let me know, and please give me their phone number. It's just some way. It's that way I can scold them, and by scold, literally put them in a corner and say, so Cupcake, why did you think this was a good idea? Why in the heck do you think this would be something that you'd really want to do? Because guess what? Now the whole world is now looking at them all like, wow, that's pathetic. Taking advantage of somebody who's handicapped. Really? Wow. What a monstrosity you are. This is a human being. This is a fiend. And then I will be more than happy to play the Queen of Hearts verdict for all of them. Let me play Dig Dug real quick. Yep, behead them. Or drop an anvil on them, or push them off a cliff. Yeah. it is inhumane to do that to somebody. But I mean, I come from the perspective of like, look, if you have the audacity and if you have the like the ability to and like the psychiatric thoughts and the will to carry out something that dark or something, then you have the absolute complete full on like clearance for that same a- atrocic, disgusting, vile action to come right back in the face. I was trying to find really strong adjectives, but if you have just I can't even find the right word because disgusting and vulgar and just distraughting just don't fit. But if somebody has that potential to do that to someone else, they fit when it comes right back around like to the face. And I think, I think it would be funny that, if something happened to the company, like, oh, what a shame. Oh, what a shame that, somebody court now they've been garnished. And now the people that were running it, guess what? Now they're in prison. Oops. And how prison is. People that are incarcerated. Now, don't get people that are doing time, but when they find out that like a new prisoner they're in for did something that is just inhumane, like for example, abusing a woman or killing a child or torturing a child or a woman, or even again taking advantage of somebody who's disabled that can't live on their own and can't fend for them. Ooh, they oh they're probably gonna make its head a new kick and have absolute fun kicking it around, like kick the can. Mm. And those kind of like that. I even have to say, to be honest, they deserve having because they just shown that hey, they don't have the good heart to actually be able to understand how to they don't know how to live a simple, pure life so they can get pushed off a cliff. Which ones? The Black Moon Astrology ones? Spiritual jail for that? Well, there is, well, at least with regarding Hindu mythology, when it comes to like Yama, which is also Shani's half brother, Saturn's half brother. Yama actually takes them to the pit. That's why also Yam is always told people Dharma, all this path. So that way next life you don't get judged and hit in the floor level. Do not want to be. Yes, they are. Well, if we actually be really technical, have the highest ascension, you have to pretty much 12th house because that's the house of escapism. Okay. From the 12th house, you're free of this everything BS. That's just what it is. But the moksha triangle, for when it's intoxicated from something that is not of this plane, or essentially in a different perspective, or seeing Mercury. Okay, so that means you feel the most fulfilled being able to logically understand, able to hone your skill and being able to understand other perspectives and trying to use spirituality to actually provide some form of deeper awareness to yourself and other people, but also making sure you're created like the way you communicate is in a way that's able to be very adaptable but also imaginative and able to would be larger scale. And since Pisces is also deepest emotion, you putting Mercury there, that also shows that you would much rather have a communication style that actually prefers emotion and actually emotions that cannot have words, which is technically sensation. Yep. Then two colorful ways of language. Again, it doesn't have to be spoken words. It can be just simply just like how, for an example, let me just raise. Let me just get enough. So, like you can even have something as simple as this. That could be this. This is actually like body language and just how you're moving with a flowing state. Just a simple, like a gentle, like in water kind of, just a blissful. No words, just in a flow state, just like that. I mean, don't look at me. That I'm just saying for what it is. That's just what it is. And also it depends on the degree too, like what specific nutshatra it is. Oh, but that again, that's a Piscean thing right there. Being able to go from one perspective, which would be mine, into somebody else's perspective. That's a Piscean quality. That's why I saw Pisces, like Pisces dominant individuals. They have a lot of support and a lot of gifts regarding remote astral travel, astral projection, and also believe it or not, this is actually a good thing. Like a heavy Piscean person are extremely very difficult to actually have someone be able to control and possess them. So like if there's like some kind of like malevolent figure trying to like blind them and like trying to take over them, they very most difficult to actually blind and misdirect. Because the thing is that hello Fiona, hello Mika, oh my gosh, everybody at once. I have not seen it, but the depths of it, you're having an entity trying to take over the depths of something. This entity does not know the depths of this, and they're not used to it. So they are looking at it like you're taking some little thing. Stop. You're taking the depths of something, and now you're having an outside force try to understand and get into it. It's going to be like, holy crap. There's so much depth to this. I don't even know where to start. So the possessing figure gets like, oh boy, I don't know where this is going to end. I think I've bitten off more than I can chew, so that's why it's much harder. Scorpio moon. Well, do you have any Cancer placements? And now it's a question to look another. Theory chart. I have Saturn and Venus in the 8th house in Gemini and Lord of the 6th in the 10th. Well, when it comes to D30, what are you looking for regarding the reflections or your character? South Node Cancer. Hey, that's what you want. You want K2. Yes, you do. I know that looks so like what? You look like you just had a hippie comical moment. No, you want to have K2 in one of the moksha especially the fourth. It's the fourth one. Why? What is the opposite? Where does K2 look? Places away. 8th house. Where does he look? 9 places away with his 9th aspect. The 12th. What's the opposite? The 10th. K2 is looking at the other two. Here. How about a cupcake? Get this thing out of my life. Get out of the way. Is there anything else that's taking my bandwidth? No? Okay, good. How about now? Am I good? Actually, you know what? Probably the most creepiest thing ever. Okay, is there still audio? Because if there's something messing with me, I'm gonna be so mad. Like for real, I'm gonna table flip. Whoa! We're back. Okay, good, better. Yes, better, better, better. Yay, Kinkerdoodle. Because I mean, I'm looking at myself and it's just like, oh, that's perfectly fine. And everybody else is like, it sucks. No, not as much as me, but that's different. So anyway, yep, I know. I mean, the thing is with me, I mean, I could. Come on, mouth. Let's work. Even though I'm not gonna go there. Um, like I could be talking about. You know what? Give me this thing. Give me this thing. I'm gonna close that. Put it back right there. Thank you. Much easier. The must be the haters. Well, to be completely honest, haters. I mean, I look at it, it's just like, oh, haters are just another word for fanboys, fangirls. That's just another word. It's just another word because the thing is like, oh, I have a hater. Nice to know that they're so consumed by my existence. Because if you're having somebody, whether you love them or hate them, like them, dislike them, whatnot, if you focus on them for a period of time, you're even if you don't think you are, you're giving them your time. You're wasting your time by giving it to them instead of doing something else for you. And I mean, the way that I catch is like, oh, I'm so important that I just took 10 seconds of your life because you were hissy fitting about me. Thanks. Not interested. Hmm. Well, usually I'm somebody that's just like, eh, happening again with the audio. How about now? Am I good? Am I okay or am I still lagging? I really hope I'm not lagging because I'm gonna really just be so mad. Well, then again, I was clicking with the mouse too, so. Yeah, I know, right? And I mean, even good. And that's another thing too that I've come to realize. Whenever you try, yes, you can. Yes, you most definitely can. A facial expression. I wasn't frozen for that. Martial. Martial artist, actually, in a way, kind of I am. I mean, I haven't. Why is my computer making this hot? Oh, I think I know why it's making that. Oh my god. Overkill. Like, oh no, my computer can't handle this noise. Like, calm down, computer. Keep your weave on. Chill. Calm down. You're not flipping stuff. Keep your weave on. Honey bear, stop it. Get rid of this. All of these services that are completely as useful as, Magumbos on a nun. Get them out of my life and keep them away. Stop it. Why the heck do I have Orchestrator trying to update? Get out of the way. You can piss it too. Get out of here, themes. And you too, let's see, which sounds completely unnecessary right now. Uh Razer Connect. I'm not playing any games right now. That can go away, so can that. I don't need to have Razer doing anything. I mean, if Razer's going to do something, well, figure out a way so that way I can never have to shave again. That'd be splendid, but go figure. That's not going to happen. Geolocation. I don't know what geolocation is, so that can get out of my life. Workstation. Well, I'm not technically working, so off with you. Fort media. I don't know what the bloody heck is fort media. Get out of here. I don't care about my events. What do you mean I can't delete it? Like hell, I can't. Get out of my way. Get out of my life. You too, Dobie. Off with your head. And display enchantment. No, you don't need to enchant me, computer. It's never going to work. Trust me. Okay. Yes, Pluto, you can. Like here. Speaking of martial arts. Oh, I haven't used these things. Actually, I haven't held these things in a while. Okay, get out of the way. You know what? I'm getting tired of this rug. Okay, hold your pigeons. Okay, rug, you come here. No, let's go. Come on. No, 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 no. No. Let go of the chair. No, you're gonna get out of my life real quick. Good. Now just sit and lay right there. Get out of my life and stay out of there. Nope. Good. Now stay. Because I'm tired of this rug thinking, oh, can I hold on to your chair? No. But anyway, back to this. Like Psy. Yep, even though some people are like, well, what do you use those for? The name of the deck with the planets, that is the Black Moon Astrology card. So here, I'll show you. It's this the one. By Susan Shepard. Susan. Susan. If you play League of Legends, then you know Susan Nasus. Well, not really. But the only huge issue I have, the card stock is just atrocious because the cards just stick. They stick. And some cards, like for it, I kind of see as either one, unnecessary, two, kind of half-assed, in my opinion. Here's, for example, Chiron. Okay, you have Chiron, one asteroid. What about Juno? What about Vesta? What about Pallas Athena? They're asteroids too. They have feelings too. More than, just a great grand teacher who decided to, friendly fire himself. I did a crooked way then. Am I going to receive my orders? Receive my orders? A crooked way. Okay, let's see. So that kind of a deck. We probably might have to use which one? Okay. Give me it then. Can we come over here? Yep, Chiron's the only asteroid in that deck. And I'll just show some more cards from that deck at the same time. So I'm actually using, for some reason, I'm being pulled to actually throw a Dark Goddess in the mix. Well, she is, and in fact, except Black Moon Lilith's not really an asteroid. She's a shadow planet, like Rahu and Ketu, the nodes. The nodes are in there too, so it's good that way at least. So, for Pluto, like the viewer, not the planet that's a little shithead. No, really, that's what I call Pluto, the little shithead. But why do you call him the little shithead? Well, whenever Pluto's conjunct another planet, really it doesn't matter who it is. Probably except Lilith. Essentially, Pluto, being the runt, thinks he's hot shit and go, oh, like best example was like Venus. Oh, hi, Venus. Oh, hi, Pluto. What do you want? I bet you I could be a hot smoking hottie like you. no, Pluto, don't try. Few days later, Pluto, have you seen my make? Oh my God, what are you doing, dude? And Pluto is completely like covered in all of her makeup, all of her perfume, pretty much every cosmetic you can think of that belong to Venus. Yeah, Pluto is either eating it, just completely all over his face, and he's actually wearing one of Venus's bras. And then he's all like, "See, I'm a hot babe, huh? Like you, even better." So then Venus gets agitated, like pissed. So all that, she's just all, ah, why? To best translate that. Yeah, but the thing is, Pluto is also destruction, overkill. So Pluto conjunct a planet makes the qualities of that planet get pissed off and overkilled. Because look at it this way: you have the runt of all the planets. Like for example, you have Saturn and Pluto. Saturn is going to beat the living heck out of Pluto. Hey Saturn, what do you want, boy? I bet you I could be an old crabby old geezer like you. What? Yeah, kind of like that. Oh, speaking of speaking of that, I don't think I ever spoken about that though. Whenever if you have Black Moon Lilith, and I think Lisa's gonna love this one. She's gonna love this one. If you have Black Moon Lilith with Pluto, Pluto actually takes is actually no actually Lilith takes Pluto and actually redirects him where she wants him to go and cause havoc. So in the seventh house. Say if somebody that you're like you say how do I put this? Say like there's somebody that you're romantically involved with and they have caused immense harm to you. It sucks to be them. Like, oh my gosh. I can't even just imagine because it's just like, oh, you're gonna ruin this connection with us? Hey Pluto, go over to this guy. I think he wants to actually talk to you, and I think he wants to show you how to be something. Pluto, being a little kid, goes, okay, goes there and completely destroys, overkills. And the native of this placement gets empowerment by watching those who harmed her suffer. Whenever there's an enemy that tries to knock you down or cause harm to you, when vengeance happens and they go face plant, you get empowered knowing I am having the last laugh, not you. Mm-hmm. And pretty much now, when you throw Mercury in there, the Mercurian qualities, also get overkilled. But because Mercury is also the skills, you can actually even also see somebody's communication style being able to like take a jolt at someone, or probably even better, they can have a skill with pretty much getting vengeance and literally crippling someone, and they have a talent for it. So be careful with that, Mika. Be very careful with that. Do as thy will with it. Just don't hit the face. So sorry, I got sidetracked for Pluto. So Pluto, about that situation of yours. Okay, we got one. We have the dark goddess of Shanga. And I'm just going to stick her over here. I'm going to keep her right there. And then let me just get these cards out of the way. Oh, actually, Mercury in the first house, that's that's like his Digbala directional strength position. That shows that when it comes to your everyday intelligence and your memory, and pretty much how like your physical body and how you communicate about healthy living and healthy eating and exercise, you actually understand it very, very good and very well. And also Mercury, believe it or not, gives you a lifelong youthful appearance. Lifelong. Don't look at me. That I don't write this stuff. That's how it is. So, okay, so about the situation for little Pluto. For Pluto, I'm not calling him little. Pluto conjunct Moon in Moon. Pluto conjunct Moon in the sixth house. Well, the thing is, how are you looking at the sixth? How are you looking at the D30 as afflictions, challenges, woman's character, or weaknesses? Because that's just that's how loose it is. Yep, that's true. And it's like when they named the planets, is like they totally were not like when they were like from Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto when they were discovered. It's like at the time they probably were totally were not thinking, let's go back to Rome mythology and think for a moment. Yeah, they probably definitely weren't thinking that. Challenges, but well, it's women's character, not challenges. So for challenges, let me have my brain take a hold of that for you. But for Pluto, because they're patiently waiting. So here's what we got for Pluto. Give me 3. 1. Ah. 2. 3. So, okay. So Pluto, first and foremost, we'll start with the goddess figure. Chang'e. Her word's obsession. But the thing is, obsession can also mean devotion. But because of this situation, you're probably overthinking it and becoming so blinded by it. Like, it's kind of like the whole thing with like when you're watching like for your Amazon Prime thing to get delivered in the mail, or like has it moved yet? Has it moved yet? Has it moved yet? It's only been 2 seconds, dude. Has it moved yet? The whole situation is taking so much of your time and focus from other things. And I can kind of understand that it might be a bit, but the thing is that when you have something blind you from being like, look at me instead, but I have other things to do. No, look at me instead. It keeps you diverted, and you're not being able to give all sectors of your life proper focus. But now the cards that came out. Well, for one, first one in this depiction is the Seven of Pentacles. We kind of see a man figure, and he has a lot of shadow figures behind him, especially the one over his shoulder going, "Ooh, what you got there? Ooh, that looks like something you are messing with." But again, the shadow figure is not really there. It's a fear-based influence. And that's what happens when you sometimes overthink things. So, as that the current standing, you are thinking that you might be in a state where you have something of immense value, but then there's a part of you thinking like, I hope nobody sees this. But now here's this one, the Three of Wands. Now in this depiction we have it looks like a mini cult going around the big bonfire, and then you have Hanky and Panky. We have Hanky and Panky out behind watching the cult people go ring around the rosy, big bowl of flaming in the center. So I don't get this as the idea of actually, because the thing is, these two people, they're not actually, they're not really there to cause any harm or damage because they're not armed. But the cult people, they're doing their thing, thinking they're not being watched. So if you feel there's 2 other people that are like just curiously, like wondering and curious about what you're doing, address them, and just ask why do you have like a sudden interest about me for some reason? Why are you so loving me grill all of a sudden? Why do you want to know this so bad? Nothing wrong with confronting and asking. Because if somebody's like being a spectator, like with like a cheerleader with pom poms, or a world's biggest hating fan, you can ask them, "Why are you so up in my grill? You don't have to be this close, hon. Take your step back, because you do have a right to privacy." But in the end, you have the star at the end. And if you notice, there's only one figure, and then this ball of light being plopped right in her hands. And now here's a recurring theme here. If you notice, first, the book is the only golden thing that's lit. Everything else is dark. Everything is so dark. The big bowl, the flaming bowl in the middle. That's another light. That's the only other light source that's there. And then the light source there is now in the hand. So that light source, being whatever thing it is, being delivered or whatever, um, yeah, it's going to be bestowed to you. But make sure that when you get bestowed it, you're in a strong emotional standing, meaning that you have your emotions in check. So when you have your emotions in check, you can think clearly. Zeus, don't you start! I know that was random and I probably made some people jump, but that dog barks at everything that moves. Everything. Every little thing. You simply take a breath. That's how he makes his noises. His barks or growls. I kid you not. Every time. Just simply minding my own business. Just reading something. A few seconds later. It doesn't. That's just what it does. That's just. The worst has got to be one when it's in the morning, because he runs around the whole backyard going. And no, I'm not trying to be satiric about it, but that's kind of close to what he sounds like. I know I probably sound like a old geezer having a big, woozy, funny thing. No, he's not. He's loud though. The answer is, well, it's going to be given to you in a way that's how you're expecting it to be. You're going to be in the clear. I really wish I had a cat though, because if I had a cat, I would name it Reginald. Well, I mean, I would say the kind of breed I want, but for some reason, some people don't like this blue cat. And I would say, where it's originated, but I don't want people to drop an anvil on my head. Literally be like, "Oh, hi, Reginald. Oh, your bowl's empty. That's a shame. Well, you want me to fill it? Fine, Reginald." But I would actually be taking my cat everywhere I go. Everywhere. Or just sit on my shoulder, just like, "Why do you have a cat with you?" Of course, Pluto. "But why do you have that cat with you everywhere you go?" Don't be hating that, you don't have a Reginald on your shoulder. End of crap. Oh, and another thing too. I don't know if any of you actually remember me going on about like the online school thing that I had. Yeah, that one. That was pretty much going to be like an online archive about any subject, to like the easy peasy level 1 to like basic, like you have to know this in order to do this, because if you don't know this, you're going to land on your face every time. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm almost done because I'm going to get sidetracked with everything. But I just finished like a little bit of a short intro, foundational for like the zodiac signs for one. The next one is I'm also going to talk about the houses, but then again, I also have to talk about like how to even like read the charts in the first place, and I figure them out one at a time. I figure like talking about reading the charts because there's a total of four chart styles. They can actually read with astrology in the exact same way. It's just how it looks is different. I also got to teach that one. Get that little mini course thingy put up, and then also about the planets too. And I think that's pretty much all like the basic level because I'm not going to get too fancy. I'm not going to get like overly fancy. Like, okay, on this class we're going to learn about the sextile of Pluto to retrograde Uranus. Let's see how that plays out in the first house. No, that's too complicated. Well, technically more than one, but I don't know. I'm just one of those that likes to teach in live, like kind of like what I'm doing right now. Because when I'm recording something, sometimes I feel like, I don't know, I just feel weird. Because I'd like to have like instant feedback and actually questions. Well, it's part of my profession. And actually, here's another thing, fun fact. Did you actually know you can also use astrology to actually see how you can actually magically influence someone and how susceptible they are? How do you know that? Yeah, you just look at the ascendant and the planets that are in the ascendant. And also the ruler of the ascendant. Because of the ascendant, yep. Here, I'll give you one little gem. Here, let me grab one. Here, I'll give you one little cutesy one to start you out with because, yeah, I don't want to give you too much. So I'm going to give you just a small little one. Here. So here's a little snow course just to get you started. If you have Saturn in the ascendant and he's in a known sign like Aquarius or Capricorn or Exalted, passively, because the first house is the lagna, the physical body, the physical existence. Essentially, this individual, whenever you try to do any magical work on them, passively, they are much difficult to influence because Saturn, again, is rebellious. You throw something at Saturn, he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. So this individual's existence, you try to put a curse on him, it gets rebelled and defied and pushed back. And that's naturally just by existing. Because Saturn's in the first house, the body, physical existence, and also the mind. So if Saturn's in a good dignity, Saturn, you can actually see somebody being like near impossible to actually manipulate mentally and being able to manipulate their thoughts and what they think. Like you're trying to push dogma on them, they're just going to rebel against it. And that's just one little gem with Saturn in the first house in a own sign, exalted position, or heck, even Meltricone, which is like an Aquarius. There you go. That's just one example. If you have somebody that's if you have somebody who has a Neptune in the ascendant, especially if Neptune is weak in the first house, if Neptune's weak in the first house, that's an example of somebody who is extremely easy to manipulate. Because what's Neptune? Neptune is I would like to call it the court sorceress, who likes to speak magical woozy-woo things and do enchanting things to make you go pretty and intoxicate you. You're putting that figure into somebody's head and their physical body. They're easy to manipulate. And Lisa, having Saturn in the second house, depending on his dignity, but usually if Saturn is in a good dignity, you can actually see people have like a perfectly structured face, and it actually ages very slow. So again, there's another youthful quality to it. So if that's the case, Saturn in the second, that would mean if you're in Aries ascendant, then that would mean you would have Saturn in Taurus, right? Neptune and Uranus. Well, that's kind of like a common conjunction, but pretty much one sense of uniqueness comes from their imagination, and how they imagine allows them to be more innovative. So they bring innovation to the spirituality and the magical medieval romance. Now, as medieval romance, I'm not talking like Romeo, catch me. Oh, I missed. Not the love story, but like fantasy. That's really what medieval romance is. Aries ascendant and Mars in Aquarius. You actually want to know probably the one of the most rarest combinations to get. And I mean, I don't want to boast about my placement because I don't like talking. I just don't like overly boasting myself. Saturn in Taurus, that's a friendly sign. And since Saturn in Taurus in the second house, you have Saturn being really strict and pretty financially organized and trying to have security, wealth, fixed assets, and being able to sustain the self in a really organized way. And there's a strong understanding of scarcity and learning how to appreciate things that are owned and valued. Let's see, the rarest one, like, I mean, in a way, I do kind of have it, but uh, is when you have a get that thing in between your legs to stop making the noise. Stop it. It's not attractive. You need to get that looked at because that's not attractive. That's not impressive. Ooh, it can make noises between your legs. Okay. Anyway, when you have a planet pinpoint conjunct the ascendant degree, and the person I'm talking to are these, these dimwits that have these ATVs, these motorcycles, these off-roading vehicles that drive every day around the corner, blaring their engine and going about right about that time too. Like about going 40 miles per hour instead of going 25 around the residential. They go 40. One of these days, it's gonna be like, whoop, the wheel fell off. What a shame. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but you see, we should have got that looked at. Now you kick the bucket. But when you have a planet pinpoint conjunct the ascendant degree, essentially, when you look at the divisional charts of any divisional chart, if a planet is pinpoint conjunct the ascendant degree, in every other divisional chart, you will have that planet conjunct in the ascendant in every divisional chart. You will. It'd be a real shame if, for some reason, oh, look at that, there's a slash in tire now. Now you can't drive it. Let me know when you're done making noise between your legs. Oh, no, I can wait, hon. Take your time. Make sure you get every little bit of fluid out of it. That way you won't be able to do it again. Mm-hmm. You hear that? That is what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's obnoxious. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand I understand boys having. I understand boys having the little toys they like to play with, but you don't have to be going around in circles, going so fast and just every bloody day in the same spot over and over again. That off-roading vehicles, aren't they supposed to be off the road? It's not that no, I don't get easily bothered. I just get pretty and it's not bothered, but it's like it being a nuisance, if that makes sense. Like I can understand if something can't be helped, it is what it is. But if something can be helped and if it's the same consistent thing, yeah, I get pretty like really. And believe me, even the Saturnian part was to come flying him. That's okay. But the Saturnian side was coming out being like, "Hey, stop having that thing make noise, damn kids." Almost been an hour. Okay, hopefully I'm gonna see if I have anything to check my phone with. Let me just get this whole closed out so that way my stream doesn't suffer. Maybe if I do this. But what's the wrong button? Okay, I'm still working. I'm still on. Hopeful. Really? Why? I'm not stupid. Don't send me that. Like, I don't get it. Why in the bloody heck would you send me? Why would you send me an email posing to be the IRS? I don't get it. It's like I'm. It's cute that somebody thinks I'm that gullible, but there's a difference between being gullible and actually going along with the show. It's an unusual login, huh? Yeah, okay. Whatever you say, Facebook. Oh, you took a breath. That's what's that called? That's unusual. Wow. Well, that's a hot mess waiting to happen. I scared Alex. Yes, I do. Hello, Jabrail. I haven't seen you in many moons ago. What's your question? What's your question that you want me to look into? The galactic feds want me to know this. Galactic feds. Okay. Not here. I think I have a good way of actually having this one be answered. So let me grab. Let me get that out of my way. And let me get this out of the way. And let me get this one out of the way. And then hand me the. Where the bloody heck did it go? Give me the. You will do. Okay. Ugh. So the galactical, well, figured I first start to see which planet is the one that's going to be like, hey, listen, I'm not just blue. Oh my gosh, I almost said that I'm not just blueberry that's with wings. Blue fairy. Oh well. Have another one anyway. Yeah, we all know what that little thing is called. That little blue fairy from Legend of Zelda. Listen. Hey. Listen. Hey. Piss it. Close enough. So, what is the planet that is wanting to talk to and tell Lizzie this then? Verity, I am Verity. I've had asthma since birth. It went away for some time, then it decided, hey, I'm moving back in. Damn it. I thought it was gone for good, but I guess that cake was a lie. So well lasted, but anyway. So, which of you Grahas is the one that wants to come through? Only one. You all can't come out at once. Wow. I know I just threw the whole pile of the other cards all the way over there, but let's go with it. And there is the Graha that came out. Black Moon Lilith. Rude. So we have Black Moon Lilith as the Graha giving you the giving you the guidance. Now, some people would be like, oh, I don't know what to do. And just nod your head, go with it. So let's see what comes out. What kind of spread? The wheel spread and one for each. So 12. You're reading thinking, okay, fine. First card. We have the definitely not Mad Hatter's wife. And this is the Ten of Pentacles of Tarot de la Nuit. The recurring thought in your head is to actually being able to. You need to be finding your empowerment to be able to be yourself in the most whimsical state. You have to be able to seduce yourself and thinking, being unique and whimsical and being and doing my own thing, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And if somebody doesn't like it, well, a very, very on birthday to them and the teacup broken on their head. So at first, and also the physical body, since this Ten of Pentacles is a figure that is doing a lot of flexible moves, possibly consider doing a lot more stretching in ways that are related to yoga. Do a lot of yoga stretching. And also have thoughts on seeing how you can creatively express yourself in a way that is completely different, but also have fun doing it. The second one. And in the second house, technically. You'll do. Oh, here we go. The second house. Oh no, hold on. Let's see. We're not done yet. We have 11 more spots to go. Just saying, 11 more spots to go. When it comes to your sustenance, your creative self-expression, your beauty, and how you present yourself, and also if you sing, do any kind of artistic expression, getting gems, crystals, fixed assets. We have the devil. And again, here's another little theme card. Definitely. But now here's the thing with that in the second house. People say the devil, they think, oh, God, that's bad. No. Especially in the second house, you have this instead. Learn to enjoy your senses more. Don't be afraid to be, like, if for example, if you have, like, high dollar clothing, Well, then opposite of that would be Capricorn in the 8th house. So that's not planned. But anyway, we'll keep going. So if you have any high dollar fashion, high dollar makeup, or anything that's high dollar that you can wear as clothing or convenience, or if you actually have any gemstones or crystals that you enjoy having on you or wearing, just wear them, flaunt them, enjoy the senses. If you want to cook something that you like, and some people say it's not healthy for you, my tongue thinks it's good. Okay, that's all that matters. And if somebody comes through just all like, you have a lot of money, maybe you should donate it. It's my money. Don't be hating, because the devil. Well, some people think, oh, that's addiction. That's the only painful side of it. The devil is also a card of enjoying with your senses, with the senses to the highest degree, taking full enjoyment in it. And because since this devil figure is a woman figure and she's in a seduceful way and she's really confident in herself and she's just looking down at like saying like, what, you think I'm impressed with you? No, hon, I'm doing my thing. Having the confidence in the self to just keep going at your own flow, and if something looks at you in a way and tries to like make you feel less about yourself, oh, I'm not impressed, can you do something else? Just completely pushing off any kind of malefic or downing influence. Learn to enjoy the senses more, because there's nothing wrong with it. But there's some people that say that God doesn't like it when you enjoy the pleasures of the flesh. Well, he can piss it. Life's meant to be enjoyed, not to suffer, not to be punishing yourself and thinking there's something wrong with you. That's not living. How can you live with the idea of like, I did something bad, but I don't remember it. I did something bad and had to get somebody killed. I don't remember that. So why am I going to feel bad if something I didn't do? How could I have made a mistake or did something wrong if I didn't exist yet? And how come this guy is having his child kick the bucket for me? I don't even know them two. So why is he turning his back and killing his own child for me if I don't even know him? That kind of sounds a little bit confusing. But anyway, definitely enjoy your fixed assets, your sustenance more. Third house for skills and communications, interactions, and also short distance travel and all that. What does she have to say? Or even also communication style, like the words, not tone of voice. We have the King of Solo Cups. When it comes to your communication style, this is actually pretty strongly hinting at, don't be afraid to be more woozy-woo with your word choice. Be more enchanting with how you communicate with other people. Speak in a way that's alluring and pretty much mesmerizing. But also emotionally. Leo. That'll work. That'll most definitely work. A Leo through third house. But what's the sign of Leo? Hey, look at me. I'm the king. I'm full of life. And the King of Cups is a figure that's a king, Leo. And Cups is emotion and illusion and fantasy and spirituality and magic. After this, I do have to go. So I'm just trying to get this as fast as I can, Caleb. But the King of Cups, though, in that regard, in your communications that's suggested, most definitely it's saying be more, but don't be like thinking that, oh, I had to be mature about it. No, be youthful in the communication style and be a little bit more magical with it and intoxicating. Be more fanciful, romantic. Fourth house of convenience, happiness, home, mother, and pretty much inner happiness. We have, it's that other Slayer, Five of Swords. Definitely not Faith from Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the fourth. If there is something posing a potential threat to your happiness or home or towards anything that brings you happiness, Don't be afraid to just let the side of you that pretty much comes out when you get really like agitated. Don't be afraid to just have it go and take over. Just let it come over and take over and be like, oh, okay. So since this thing is still trying to ruin my happiness, okay. Yeah. And just get rid of it. Give it the big well, technical warning shot to come around again, you probably won't be moving afterwards. Don't be afraid to be taking a hostile response to something that is potentially going to risk damage being brought to what brings you happiness and security and convenience. Don't be afraid to table flip. The fifth house. Two of twigs. This depiction, we have a woman figure grabbing a skull going, alas, poor Yorick, I once knew thee as alive. And I mean, I just have to go with it. Most definitely for your fifth house matters creativity, expression, playwright, artistic expression, speculative games, children. If you do any kind of acting or pretty much do any kind of songwriting, any kind of creative expression, go in all the way in and really get into it. Let your most inner self shine when you do it. And if you work with children or have children of your own or interact with any children, it pretty much go down to their level and act like a kid with them and get into it. Like the imagination play. And if somebody's looking at you like, oh, you're nuts. No, I'm not nuts. Besides, I already have my mine at home. So don't be saying that I have nuts and you don't. So don't let anybody take your creative self-expression away from you. Now the sixth house of enemies, obstacles, bad out of the karma, intestines, and daily work routine. Also pets, small animals, and also those who are unprivileged or in a state of poverty. Let's see what comes out for them. You have the setting sun. This is the sun setting in the west, or setting in the seventh house, which is funny enough the next house after this one that I'm looking into. So having the sun set in the sixth house, that shows that your afflictions, enemies, they're actually going to be put into a state where it's getting dark for them. They can't see, and they're actually going to be in a state where they're not going to be able to comprehend. What do we do next? How do we swing? And if you have a pet or animal that's suffering, they won't be suffering much longer. And if you're suffering from an illness, that illness is going to set. It's going to be healing rather quickly. Or if there's any kind of work routine that you're getting kind of annoyed with, there's going to be something coming in naturally, jolted and bring some more life into it. Now, seventh house of other people. The enemy, believe it or not. And it's also a killer house. Yep, the seventh house is a killer. Ironically. In the seventh house, we have the six of twigs. Six of wands. This depiction we have of what the heck is she doing? We have a figure that is surrounded by... Oh, I know which one this is talking about. We have a woman figure that's actually the flowers from Alice in Wonderland. So when it comes to other people and relationships and connection to other people and the negotiations and pretty much romantic interests, this is an ideal time to actually put yourself out there to start wooing people. Most definitely. Just don't sing Golden Afternoon because that probably may not work. But definitely wear more purples and reds, which again, that's a little theme color palette and color scheme. Now the eighth house, the house of surprise, face plant, the house of, also believe it or not, the house of probability. Yep. Eighth house has dominion over the percentage of probability. which states anything has a certain probability of happening, like a whale landing on your head out of nowhere. There's a probability formula for that. It's also the house of longevity, and also the house of assassinations, believe it or not. It is the house of doing the nasty. It's also your in-laws. And don't look at me, I didn't write this stuff. What happens in the 8th house? We go from the 6 of twigs, now we go to the 8 of twigs. So what's even more funny is this. It looks like the exact same figure in the same scheme, but one is more planted, faith, and secure. The other one is now free from the plants and now is dancing around all glee. So, put it this way then. Essentially, when it comes to transformation, be more free-flowing with it. Embrace it more. Even if it makes people think, why is she embracing this thing that tragically happened? Or better yet, being more, or actually using the transformation to actually project yourself farther in whatever you're trying to do. And since you have the devil aspecting that card in the 2nd to the 8th, that does really hint at, hey, flaunt yourself more. Don't be hating that if other people can't get on your level. Tell them, oh, that sucks, honey. Maybe you should get off your tush and get yourself. The 9th house. Stop blowing it out there. You'll do. In the 9th house, we have he who's hung most. But this depiction is Alice before she flips, under her feet. Mr. Rabbit, wait. Well, when it comes to the 9th house of higher learning, education, philosophy, teacher figures, and pretty much sacred texts and long-distance travel and religious routine, higher education, it's actually suggested to pretty much just review everything you've learned and actually revisit everything and go through everything all over again from the beginning to where you are right now, and just review everything. Take a moment to hold on, go back all the way to the start, and then review everything again. Make sure you got it. The 10th house. The highest point in the sky, your reputation, all of that lovely stuff. What comes out for that one? We have the definitely obnoxious let it go, obnoxious girl, Page of Pentacles, Elsa. In that way I'm reading this. Your reputation, make sure that people don't take advantage of you and think, oh, she's just innocent. Make it look like you're like that, but when somebody pretty much underestimates you, show them, I know I may look cute and innocent, but surprise, holy snapple. Because you have Earth and Earth right there with the Page of Pentacles. And because this depiction has her being like kind of like enchanting someone, like, ooh, take a look at this. Bet you can't make ice do this. Definitely be more confident in your abilities, and also whenever you do it in front of other people. Like if you do an occult working or something related to your profession, don't be afraid to get a little flashy with it and teasy with it. Teasy? That's not even a word. The 11th house, gains, friendships, networking, and social networking, welfare, reform. The highest of all of the houses on Earth, that is. We have the Little Mermaid. And it's the 5 of Cups. But this depiction, most definitely double check to make sure you understand what friends are there for you, what organizations are there for you, who in your network circle is actually there for you and is actually able to accept you regardless of what happens and doesn't leave you out on a rock, metaphorically. As well as being in solitude by yourself is actually how you'll actually discover how to actually obtain your hopes and your wishes and your desires being fulfilled and granted in solitude to reflect. The last one, the 12th house, the house of, and also your toesies and other worlds and all of the whatnot. Aha! So, the 12th house is the Ace of Solo Cups. This depiction we have definitely not what's her name? Roger Rabbit's wife, but not in her fancy elegant red dress that sparkles. But she's actually in a state of intoxication, which again, that's the 12th house. Become more intoxicated, become more at peace in your spiritual practice and also your spiritual affairs. Enjoy your times of sleep and solitude much more, because you'll be able to be at peace there and the most nourished. And don't let anybody take that away from you, because you need that. And that's pretty much what I got for all that. And now my voice is going out. Oh, can drown out. Oh, my voice. Oh. But anyway, I'm going to take my leave. I'm exhausted. My mouth is about to be like, nope, we quit. Oh. So I'll just talk to you guys later on in the next live.